Hey there, this is Nina Pinguer. Today we are doing a client leaks audit video review where we will take a look at someone's website and their social media accounts to find holes that we can plug and optimizations we can make to increase the number of leads they're getting, appointments they're booking, and clients that they're closing. And so, no matter where you're at with your business, this video is going to be helpful for you because I'm essentially going to be laying out a full system that shows you how to turn strangers into clients. And so, I know it's going to be super valuable for you. And I'm excited because I've got Dan here as kind of our guinea pig. He's agreed to allow me to share this with everyone and use him as an example of some things that we can change to just better optimize our stuff, our funnels, and get more clients, which is what we all want, right? So I'm excited to have you join us, and we're just going to jump right into his website. And the first thing that I notice here when I take a look at this is, for one, it's a really fancy website, and it does a great job of establishing Dan's authority. Right? He's clearly he's been featured in all these magazines, and he's doing a lot. If you scroll down here, um, it shows that he's a speaker. He's got group coaching. He does private coaching. He does retreats. He's got books that he's written. He's got an app that he's developing. He's got corporate workshops. He does a podcast. And so this website does a really great job of showcasing all the cool stuff that Dan is up to. And if that is the purpose of a website, then it's doing his job, right? But as a business, the primary function that we want a website to have and to perform is to actually get us clients, right? To convert the people, the traffic that we're getting into booked appointments or sales if we're selling products directly. So um, the way that I translate this, uh, it's again, it's nice to have all this stuff, and it does establish authority, but there are a million different buttons to click and things to get distracted with that actually take us further away from the action that we want people to take. And so he does have an opt-in here, which is great. I didn't see an opt-in here. Um, and so, yeah, maybe let's get into the messaging a little bit because I think that's one of the most important things with your website and your marketing in general is what kind of message and how are you attracting your audience, right? We know here he's a leadership coach. That's clearly established at the top here and with this title. But let's actually see what he says and what is he asking us? What if there was a better system that could take you beyond ordinary limits in leadership and fulfillment? That sounds pretty good on a surface level. I don't take a ton of issue with that. I don't know. Um, I don't know if there's really too much to be said about this, but I'm curious as to what problem this actually solves. I mean, on a surface level, I see okay, pushing through some kind of limits and finding fulfillment. Okay, I can kind of understand that. What I don't really understand is when we get to this subheadline here, where it says, "Become an iconic leader, achieving lasting contentment and legacy." Contentment, I can kind of understand. Legacy and becoming an iconic leader, I have no clue what those things are. And maybe it's not me. Maybe it's just because I'm not his client or his target audience. I'm not an ideal fit for Dan as a client. Um, but that these things seem so elusive and vague. These concepts that I have no idea what that actually means in my life. Does that mean that I've reached some kind of legendary status amongst my peers? Do I get a portrait hung in like the company Hall of Fame? Um, and legacy, is that a financial legacy that I get to leave for my family and children? I don't know. And because there's so much ambiguity to these outcomes or I guess these titles or these these results, if you can call them that, um, it's just confusing me. And anytime a mind is confused, they automatically say no and decide it's easier, I guess, to just decide that it's not for them. And so that's what I would dig into if I were Dan. I would dig into my messaging and I would actually see and survey my past clients to see what kind of language they're using in terms of the outcomes that they are wanting and that they are actually achieving with Dan, because I doubt that anyone is coming to Dan and saying, hey Dan, you know what I really want? I want to become an iconic leader, right? If they're using that kind of language, I mean, and maybe they are, maybe the criticism isn't fair here. um, but if anyone's coming to Dan and saying, hey Dan, I just want to leave a lasting legacy, and maybe that is true. Maybe they just want, all the kudos from their peers, and to reach some kind of legend status. I don't know, But to me, as a marketer, right, I look at this and I see intangible outcomes that are ambiguous that more than likely, is using language that our clients wouldn't use, right, or that Dan's clients wouldn't use themselves, right. And so I don't think it resonates, or I have a hard time seeing these types of message actually resonate with Dan's potential clients, his ideal target audience. The other thing here is that this video is really fancy. It's really cool. You click on these different things, and a different video will play depending on your selection. That is of Dan telling you about what he does. But these aren't calls to action, and the most important thing is directing people, right, to take action. And so there is this get in touch button down here in the corner, and that does bring up a pop up to book a call, but there's nothing here that tells me what this call is really about. And if I were here to try and hire Dan as a speaker, I wouldn't necessarily want to book an appointment. And so, like, just not even having a description here, I think hurts you in getting clients to book. But I may not want to book an appointment right away, right? Maybe you haven't convinced me yet. So, and especially with the button being kind of down in this corner, it's kind of out of the way, and I think it's easy to ignore there. So not having a call to action here that directs you directly to to book an appointment or to take some kind of action that you want them to take, I think is hurting you. He does have an opt-in down here. um, so on this, it says, watch this video to uncover a powerful system Dan designed to break through barriers, master the art of iconic leadership, and build a fulfilling life with a lasting legacy. Again, some of these things are kind of vague and ambiguous. And really, how I translate this is watch a video of how Dan did some cool stuff in his life. And it doesn't necessarily speak to any specific problem. It's not saying, hey, do you have this problem? Like, I put together a video to help you solve it, right? That's much more direct and speaks to the client. Whereas, this is kind of centered around Dan a little bit more. Um, I noticed that there's another thing down here. He's got like an assessment. Want to discover how strong your leadership skills are, or how you measure up to iconic leaders? Yeah, I don't know. I keep having this issue with like iconic leadership. Like, what does that mean? I have no idea. Um, especially how to measure up to them, right? Like, how are you gauging that? So that to me that's confusing. How strong your leadership skills are. Maybe that's a little bit more tangible. Maybe I can put that on a scale. Um, so what happens when I click here though? When I click this button, I'm taken to essentially a landing page that has me click another button. And the funny thing about that is that every time there's an extra step that someone has to take before they actually get to where you want them to go, you get half of the people actually completing that action. So you get a 50% drop off rate. And so just instead of having this take you to a landing page, Dan, just make this button to take you directly to the assessment, and you'll get twice as many people actually taking the assessment just by that one change. But let's take a look at a couple other things. All right, let's take a look at the speaker tab here. Um, so the interesting thing here is that, okay, so clearly this is meant to showcase Dan's speaking ability. So we've got some downloads here that, tell us about him and what he can do. Got more to establish his authority. Another a video here, different topics, who Dan is. Okay, I don't see anywhere a button to just contact Dan. Okay, at the very bottom, we've got, again, book a speaker strategy call. So we do have an option there. There's no option to just send an email. Maybe there is somewhere. Maybe this link. Yeah, this link looks like it goes to an email. Um, but I have to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to be able to take the action that I want if I was trying to hire Dan as a speaker. So we need a button, something somewhere closer to the top, ideally right here, um, so that I can actually contact Dan easily if I want to book him as a speaker. So, just little things like that, changes that will help, the person looking for you actually be able to contact you or actually be able to book the appointment quickly and easily, makes such a difference. You don't want anyone to have to go looking for, the action that you want them to take. right? I mean, just making that change will increase your conversions. Let's check out the coaching tab, see if it loads here. Oh, I have to actually click onto one of these individual ones. Private coaching. Okay, he's got this video here. And I did watch some of this video actually, and I'm not going to play it now, but when I watched this video, this is what's interesting is that, we're told that he's a leadership coach. But then when I look here, um, there's some, okay, iconic leadership. So he still has some leadership messaging here. But when I play this video, and I didn't watch the whole thing to be fair, right? Most of the people that click this video will not watch the whole thing, just so you're aware. Um, but the vibe that I get is that this isn't actually for leaders. So some of the messaging, the words used, it isn't centered around leadership. It's centered more around life coaching. And so that's one thing. And it actually says right here, life and leadership coach. There's kind of a clue there. And this isn't pointed directly at leaders. And to me, that's confusing because if I'm a leadership coach, I'm going to look at, what are the things that a leadership coach wants? They want to break through some kind of barrier that they're maybe having at work where they feel stuck, right? But usually that has to do with some kind of performance metrics, some kind of output that they're trying to achieve, right? And so if you're not speaking to that or the common language that most leaders are looking to hear when they want to improve themselves and their outputs, that's going to be confusing, and they're not going to think you're for them. And so, and again, like, where is the button get in touch? Okay, so is that just takes me to the bottom of the page? Okay, book a free strategy call. Okay, so that works. I don't see the button up here to just learn more. No. Okay, so again, like, you need the button up here that actually takes you. If because people skim and they want to make quick decisions. And so if they read this and they're like, okay, private coaching, great. So then it's, they click the learn more button and it just bumps them down a couple inches on the page. And then they have to watch a video, right? When they're already ready to book. I mean, and then again, this video may or may not actually help them book a call. That's, to be decided or determined. I would, I would have a button here that takes them directly to this book an appointment uh, widget here, so that people can very quickly take the action they want. And it removes an extra step, right, that they have to take. And we want that. We want to remove as many steps as we possibly can, so that we can get as many people to actually take the action, right? So let's go to books. Okay, let's see what this does. Yeah, it just bumps you down. So maybe that button just doesn't work. Maybe that's just not doesn't have the right action behind it. Um, these actually take me to a no. I see again, like, these things. Okay, this is kind of confusing me. It makes me feel like I'm on a roller coaster right now. I haven't seen this before. So yeah, this is really fancy, and it's a really quick way to lose people's interest and actually get them to not purchase the book. Oh, it says coming soon, so maybe this isn't a book that he's written yet. Okay, so let me see. Do any of these take you to any kind of a checkout page? Okay, is that one also coming soon? Yeah, it says coming soon. Okay, so maybe he just doesn't have these books written yet. Okay, that one does have a buy now. Wow, but I scroll away from it and it's like, that is annoying. Wow, that's terrible. I accidentally scroll down and then the button's gone and I'm taken, like, to a different planet. It feels like I feel like I've just stepped through the closet and I'm in Narnia now in a different world. Um, so that I would fix that, get rid of that because that's not helping you. It's fancy, it looks cool, but it just confuses the heck out of me. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Mastermind. Again, yeah, these buttons, yeah. I think the buttons are broken. They don't actually, do what they're supposed to. So maybe that's just maybe just he needs to fix that. But again, like, everything needs to have easy buttons to access it, right? Because I'm not gonna read a massive page of text. I'm sorry. Like, so really the way that you should do these and set it up, you want a video at the top of every one of these pages, a very succinct video that tells you exactly, what the program's about, whatever it is. um, and gives you options with a direct call to action button directly underneath, right? So you're directing people in the video. Hey, like this is what we do. This is the success we're having. These are the outcomes we're getting for people. Like if you want that, click the button below. Take action now. That's actually going to make these effective. Whereas I don't want to, just reading a bunch of stuff. Um, and again, like we do have these testimonials kind of sprinkled in, which don't hurt. They're great. I like testimonials, but what would be way more powerful is to actually have video testimonials. So, do a video that does a breakdown and then have the call to action button, and then below that just more videos that are testimonials reinforcing that you can actually get the results that you promise for your clients. Let's click on the retreats button. Um, Same thing here. There's no button to I have to okay, down here. Got a couple again, no buttons though to like actually click and book these or anything like that. And maybe this is unfair. Maybe some of these things are kind of in the works and aren't ready yet. Um, but man, yeah, if you can put together some videos explaining all this stuff, that would sell it a lot better. Workshops. Let's click and see what Dan's got here. Um, okay, corporate workshops. We've got a testimonial. Again, just a lot of text. A lot of text. And here's the thing is that people have short attention spans, right? They're like goldfish. They want the information as quickly as possible. They don't want to have to read the whole thing. You especially don't want to, again, take people away from your website, which is what all of these links do. And yeah, they just want the information fast and easy. And the testimonials, I would bump testimonials up like to the very top, right underneath your main call to action and your main explanation piece. Hopefully that's a video, but if it has to be text, that's great too. I would just put the testimonials right underneath that essentially. So explanation via video or text, call to action button, and then testimonials underneath. Um, Podcast. So we could go through these. I mean, these are all pretty similar. They're all designed in kind of the same way, and so they're all going to have the same issues essentially. I don't have to go through all of these. Let's go to some social media. Let's check social media out. Okay, so this is Instagram. Um, so it's kind of cool to see that he has a good sized following and he has fairly decent engagement. It looks like 31 comments, 891 likes on these, and these are just static images. This is like a quote. It's not even him. These are easy to make, by the way. I don't think they're that effective, but you clearly have a dedicated following if people are commenting and liking these. I mean, you have a lot of followers, so that's great. It's awesome that you're getting that kind of engagement. Okay, so a couple things that I got to explain before we really get into the analysis of the social stuff is the purpose of everything, right? The purpose of your socials and the purpose of your website is to move people along to, to the calendar where they actually book their appointment and you have an opportunity to convert them to clients. That is the end goal, right? To get clients. And so at each point here, you have to put up signs, road signs, and tell them where to go and how to take the next step in their journey, right? And we do that in a few different ways. Um, with on our social media channels, our social platforms, we do that with our bio. Uh, our bio has to be descriptive and it has to tell people where to go next, right? And so our bio can't just be about us, it has to tell people, hey, I get this kind of result. If you want to get that kind of result yourself, then click the link below. So the next thing is the link, right? So we use our bio and our link to direct people to where we want them to go to take the next step, which is going to be onto our website. Another way that we can do that is with pinned posts. And pinned posts are great because um, people can scroll through your content, but the most important content pieces that you want them to see have to do with client testimonials and have to do with the offers that you actually make, right? Or the biggest mind shifting pieces of content, the content that really explains your unique, uh, I guess, angle or unique offering, um, and creates a mindset shift for them. And so I didn't finish writing this. Pinned posts. So we've got your bio, your link, and then your pinned posts. These all need to work together to direct people to where you want them to go, right? And so if I go back to your Instagram page, right? So you've got this bio. It says, I work with leaders who feel stuck, helping them break through limitations to become iconic, create lasting contentment, and build powerful legacy. So the way that I would reword this, I would say, I work with leaders who feel stuck and help them achieve massive breakthroughs or something to that nature, right? Maybe get a little bit more specific. If you want the same kind of breakthrough, and we'd have to work on this copy and make sure it sounds good, so don't write that, Dan. But essentially that's the idea, right? If you want the same kind of breakthrough, click here for X, Y, or Z, right? And you do have a link here that takes people, looks like, directly to an audio workshop with an opt-in. So this is good. This is what you want, something like this. But you have to direct people to click on it. They don't know why they're clicking this if you don't tell them. And so you have to explain what they're getting when they click in your bio. And then same thing with the pin posts. The best way to do it is to have each three of these, or the top three posts here, pinned. And I would do a mindshift piece of content, testimonial, and something else, some kind of a unique offer. And again, like, all of these have calls to action on them that direct people to click the link. But here's the thing: is content, right? And it looks like you're doing well with Reels. You're getting some good views. So the content brings people in. They click on your profile, then they'll read your bio, right? They'll maybe watch a few pieces of your content, right? Which is why you want the pin post. So all of these things have to work together to get them to actually take this action, to click this button, and to opt into whatever it is. I do like that you have a free workshop or whatever. I know that this is like, I think I watched this, and it's multiple days, and we could talk about how to maybe get the most out of that. But it's good that you have an offer here. I noticed that you don't have a link in the same way, and LinkedIn is kind of different. So you have to structure it differently on LinkedIn. I know that in the services you can, like, have these different things that you offer, that, like, I know that you have services listed here, but things that people can actually click and check out. So there are ways to improve this, and you do have a decent bio. Again, kind of using those vague terms, which, again, going back to the messaging, we would really want to tweak those and improve them, make them more pointed, and more about the challenges that your audience is actually having, and some kind of call to action. On LinkedIn and on Facebook, you have the ability to basically put up these banners, which are, I mean, they're advertisements, right? And so they need calls to action. Again, directing people, directing traffic. That's what you want. That's going back to this. That's what these road signs are. If you think of it about them in that way, right? You're putting up billboards and you're saying, go here, go do that, take this action, so that you're moving them along through this funnel to get them to the end goal, which is the book appointments. So on Facebook, same thing. On Facebook, you can do a pinned post. Um, there's more probably that you could add here. Again, call to action on here. This one, it's just the same as LinkedIn, which looks good. It looks nice, but it doesn't direct people to take any kind of action. On Facebook, I'm assuming this is a page. You can set up these buttons so that there's actually a contact button here. And I get it. Like, the thing about trying to be on every platform and have every platform optimized, it's tough, right? Like, I take a look at Dan's YouTube, and I click on the more about this channel. There's nothing here, and that's likely because Dan maybe isn't focused on YouTube, or just has a lot on his plate, hasn't gotten around to it. Right? It's hard to do everything on every platform perfectly, but there are a lot of little optimizations and tweaks that do stack up over time, and do make it easier for people, if you can implement the changes, to actually just book appointments and move forward. And I feel like I keep repeating that, so maybe I've drilled it into your heads enough. But everywhere we can, we want to give people clear directions to links or whatever it is. And I know that in the channel details you can add links, specifically on videos. If you're trying to optimize videos, let's click on one. I can scroll down here. like nothing in the description here, no link. And there's a free plugin that I use. This is vidIQ. It shows you channel tags, no video tags. And so, things like that can be optimized, um, specifically on YouTube, but really anywhere, right? You can do work for SEO purposes so that your stuff shows up a lot easier when people search. And so there's a lot there. I haven't checked um, your TikTok out too much. But again, the same thing, right? You have a link to your website, but it's your bio isn't specific. It's not telling people where to go, and there's nothing special about your link. It's just going to your website. So all of the links that you post could always go directly to some kind of a landing page with ideally not a lot of distractions on it, right? Where they can only take one action, which is to give you their information to click that submit button. After maybe they've watched the video there, if that's something that needs a video, right? But very uh, clean and simple landing pages is always what you want to link to, and not just directly to the website. And so let's talk about more of those road signs, right? Because we've already discussed on the socials, using your bio, using the link in your bio, using pinned posts. On the website, you really just want to. The way to do it is just easy CTAs, right? And buttons, opt-ins, uh, stuff that can help people take action quickly and easily. That's kind of an S. Hopefully you can read that. Um, just you know, minimize distractions. Don't let people click around on everything that takes them off of your page, right? Things like that, right? But tell people where to go and make it simple for them to take the action that they want. On the calendar, um, the important thing about when they actually book the appointments is you want your descriptions to set expectations about what they're going to get on the call, including that you're going to present an offer, because that's essentially what you're going to be doing. And so that should be outlined. It should say, like on the call we're going to discuss X, Y, and Z to help you get you know X result, blank result, um, and then discuss how we can work together if it makes sense, or something to that effect, so that when they're booking a call, it's not just, oh, I'm going to talk to this guy and we're going to hang out for a little bit, right? It's no, they go into it knowing that there's a clear agenda here. We're going to get this kind of clarity on this specific subject, and then I'm going to potentially work with him, or I'm going to be at least be asked the question of whether or not we want to work together, right? And so again, you're directing people, if that makes sense. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. Let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway from this video was. And if you want one of these videos done for you that's personalized to your business, your website, your social platforms, I'm going to have a link to that as well. Along with that, you'll get a detailed report showing you exactly the steps you need to take to start getting more leads, more booked appointments, and more clients. But thanks for being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.